Good morning again, everyone, and again, thank you for being here. I'm sure right now you must feel the way our farmers do when they're on the field in the hot sun, without any condition of fan and comfortable chairs. So this is in solidarity with our farmers, as Jeff will tell you. And again, we thought that too often when we have events dealing with agriculture, we tend to take it in a hotel setting. So we're trying to diversify our kind of production away from the hotel setting into what we call the Creole and the local flavor. So I hope you enjoy the local flavor. We didn't plan to have this event. It was a short notice event, a kind of impromptu thing, and we're really glad that you agreed to share with us this experience this morning on the short notice. This was triggered by a phone call from a friend of mine, a colleague, who said, you know, after he got this publication, he was so happy because he said, "Man, in agriculture, we need to do this a little more often. We need to see things like this a little more often." So we agreed, okay, let us talk about positives and the possibilities in agriculture and see how we can promote and continue the process. The theme of this morning is promoting the positives and the possibilities in agriculture. And as Bob would tell you, and as Steve would tell you, so many times when we ask people how they're doing in agriculture, they always say, "Oh, more things are bad," etc. And I'm taking it up from Steve Maxini right here, who said, if we ask you in agriculture how things are, please for once say, "Yes, I am doing well," and that will send the right signal up. We're trying to reach a balance where we kind of cross the language from technical talk in agriculture to more layman talk, people who are trying to reach and understand the content and what is in there. This didn't start off so. It started off as a very technical document, and then halfway through we realized that it would add no extra value to put out another one like this in the public life, so we switched it. And just to say that the experience was a very downy and a very up one sometimes, and we thought that the importance is not of the publication per se, but of the process that we went through to do it, and the process that we hope will continue beyond today and beyond this one publication, because we believe that there is very little or insufficient positives in terms of information, initiatives, and images of agriculture in the Caribbean. And I was gratified also to hear Alison mention that after going through the book, she realized there was much more to agriculture than she knew. And as a restaurateur, without agriculture, without farm agriculture, this would not be a business. So we're hoping to make the link between farming and the consumer much more connected, much more integrated, so that when we talk agriculture, we know what we're talking about, from the farm to fork, from farm to table, or from soil to boil, and there are many more of those kinds of little phrases describing the link between agriculture and the consumer. I don't want to take much more time, but I have to thank a few people for helping or for participating and cooperating in putting the document together. Those who are mentioned in the acknowledgements. And in particular, I'd like to thank Bob, who just came in. As he wanted to give me the phone call and said, "Dan, we must do this, we must do this, we must have a launch." So thank you, Bob. And Steve, and the both of them are always ready to help on anything, at any time, anywhere. So I'd like to thank them. I'm sorry that they are just men, but you know I'm a woman in agriculture person. But thank you, Bob, thank you, Steve. And I'd also like to thank Jose Fonseca, who is not here, but he's from the Technical Center for Agricultural and Rural Cooperation, the CTA. It's an organization of the ACP based in the Netherlands, and he provides much support, financial and otherwise, to the Krappen project and to agriculture in general. And again, I'd like to thank Dr. Chesney. Dr. Chesney sitting at that table next to Jethro Green. When Dr. Chesney was in ECA, he used to be my boss, and he used to quote something to me. He said, "Diane, don't let the excellence be the enemy of the good," because I was a stickler for doing things perfect, and of course, I could never finish sometimes, or get stressed out doing it. So Dr. Chesney, in this one, I did not let excellence be the enemy of the good, because I'm sure you'll notice some typos in there that escaped us, and as well some I suppose, graphic little problems, but at least it's a good start, we think. And the operative word for that is a start, and we hope it's not a stop, but it's a continuous process. And I'd also like to thank who I call my Trini sis. It's Catherine Duncan. Catherine, where are you? Catherine suffered painlessly in silence and smiles as our days and our nights turned into mornings, working on this document, doing the layout, dealing with me for my every change, just at that, with this, etc. So Catherine, thank you very much. It was a learning experience for the both of us, and we're going to learn when we do the rest of other publications. And some of us in agriculture say that this is like a first of its kind for agriculture in the Caribbean. We're trying to bridge the gap, I said, between the technical stuff and the magazine type of thing. So this is the beginning. And I'll be hoping with the support, information, cooperation from everybody in agriculture, especially the media people who we hoping can take this message the message of positive and possibilities in agriculture further in the mainstream medium and as well in the mainstream business community. So without talking any further, I would like to invite you to enjoy this morning's very short and not technical proceedings. It is what the tune is called a line in celebration of agriculture. The agri-cuisine on the table is all local and from the Caribbean. And this is another way of linking from the farm to the fork. And I would like again to thank you all for coming, braving the traffic, braving the travels, braving the weather, braving everything to celebrate agriculture.
Diane was identifying the champions of our culture in the Caribbean. And there was a series of missions. Yes. She omitted herself. Oh, yes. Before I say a few words, I want to welcome especially President Norman Gorman. I'll tell you why. There was a function in Grenada during the Caribbean Week of Agriculture, and his name was not in the final list. But Norman, you see, when the Caribbean has total control over the list, he's always here. So remember that if your name is not in the list. It is very gratifying to be able to participate in this event, because I think I was at the start of it, and Dan did not tell you the amount of challenges she had in bringing it to this stage. We, particularly one challenge I remember is that we went to present the first draft of quoted meeting at Chicolia, one of the in Cascadia, right? And we made the cardinal mistake of not vetting the work of consultants before we presented. You heard that, Steve? And we had to withdraw the presentation, right? Because it was really, really, really bad. So there have been a lot of challenges, but there are a lot of positives. And Dan has asked me to look at how we promote the positives. And some time ago, when we were both in Nika, and now that I'm in Cardiff, we recognized that you cannot do anything in our culture positively unless you involve the media and the general public, and the people who are directly involved. So those of us who are in Cardiff and Nika, we're not real agriculturists. We try to promote the environment, but it's the people who are directly involved in making money out of it that will have to be part of the whole process. And for them to be part of that entire process, you have to have the media on your side to help promote the positives. It's not like, things are changing. I remember a few years ago when we were trying to promote the Jaggu initiative, we went up to take a very respected media person in Trinidad and Tobago. They said, not possible. Our culture is not sexy and it's not backing up. Right? The only time we will do it is when there's an emergency and there's no food. But remember, emergencies come about because we do not really deal with it and trying to promote it at the right time. I would now want to say a little bit about ECO, CARDI, CTA, and the ACM have been doing over the years to promote agriculture. And hopefully in the next 2 years will also be doing. I think in 2006 we had our first attempt, not very good attempt, because the Gibbons was there in Bahamas, of trying to bring together the media and the technicians. But Dan soon recognized that it was a very stultified event. Right? There wasn't enough avenues for dialogue. It was the technicians like myself or myself trying to lecture to the media what was required in our culture, in our cultural development. And I think I'm not very good at this. Dan came up with the idea of an agricultural table, which removes the barriers of the dialogue between the parties. And the parties in this case were not only media, but the practicing farmers and the practicing practitioners along the value chain. Let me say, out of that, in 2009, the entire ACP and Europe, the European Union, took that idea and had an international seminar on the media and agriculture in the ACP. Right? So, not because we're small, it means that we cannot share and lead in innovation and interventions. Dan will correct me if I miss the dates. In 2010, there was another ART in Manila. But also, we had, with the support of ACM, Peter and Wesley in particular, a major exports meeting, where we attempted to indicate how we could get the media at a strategic level involved in the promotion of our culture in the region. When you talk with them, they will tell you how successful they were. There were some challenges, but I think in the long run we have made something. We're going to, in 2009 also, sorry, I missed the year, in 2009, ECA Trinidad and Tobago had, for the first time in the country, an award for excellence in agriculture journalism. Right? So you see that there's a constant promotion of agriculture through the agencies. In 2011, the four agencies, let me repeat them again, ACM, ECA, CARDI, and CTA. The CTA will provide the funding for the societies. We're going to have another project called Agriculture in the Media. And within this, we're going to actually train the media, continue the training of media as to how to write and promote agricultural activities. And maybe then one of the topics we could give them, following Alison's comments, is to take some of the documentation in this book of yours and put it out in a way that the wider public will better appreciate and understand the rationale, the reasons, and the importance of our culture. Next year also, the Science and Technology of the Caribbean, CSSD, I don't know if you remember the name, the acronym, have started a program for youth in animation and agriculture. I think Catherine is part of that exercise. So we're also going to attempt to attract the youth into the whole process. And we're going to have another ART sometime in October during the week of agriculture. And building on what Trinidad has done, we're going to have, for the Caribbean, we're going to give 3 prizes for the best journalistic articles in the region. Right? And we hope to distribute those prizes during the Caribbean Week of Agriculture. So we're helping to set the frame to promote the politics. And it is a full recognition that we in agriculture, whether it be technicians, or farmers, or marketers, or processors, cannot do it alone. In closing, I want to manifest that philosophy in 2 quotes. One, agriculture is not the responsibility of the Ministry of Agriculture. It is the responsibility of the Cabinet. Without full Cabinet support, the Ministry of Agriculture is almost without any power, toothless. And secondly, for all of us, and those of you who are here on the party soon, agriculture is too important to be left in the hands of agriculturists. And it's in this context we want to ask the media to promote the positives of agriculture, promote the good things of agriculture, not the weird things, like a goat with 3 heads, or a pumpkin that weighs 200 pounds. Promote the good, positive things. Thank you, Madam Chair.